Hi everyone, it's Sarah Rose. Welcome back to Wellness Wednesday. Today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about your brain on change. Change is a really popular topic that comes up quite a bit in the Mind Body Spirit Challenge. And if you're unfamiliar with what that is, that's my 12-month, 365-day-a-year holistic lifestyle challenge where you're encouraged and supported to create healthy, holistic lifestyle habits from the inside out for an entire year. So if that interests you, you can always find information on that on my website at sarah-rose.net. And I encourage you to check that out right after this video if that's something that interests you. But right now we're just going to dive right in. There's 3 obstacles from a biological standpoint that I wanted to bring up to just sort of shed a little bit of light about the process behind creating change in your life. So when you're out there trying to create new patterns and new healthy habits and you feel like you're hitting a block of some sort, you can sort of maybe reference this and bring a little clarity to the process and not beat yourself up so much if you're not necessarily achieving your goals or achieving your new habits that you want to create in your life as efficient as you would like at first. Okay, so the first thing I'd like to bring up is your primal animal brain. And this part of your brain is completely concerned about security, and it sees anything in your life that is unfamiliar as a security breach. So anything that branches out from your normal patterns of behavior is going to be seen as of unfamiliar territory and therefore not secure, not safe, and threaten your survival. So there's a little bit of fear that sets in with that, and it's a biological thing. There's millions of years of evolution of this going on, so you're definitely going to possibly experience this when you're creating lifestyle habits and change on a real level, and that's okay. So just bringing awareness to this process and understanding that that is at play when you're trying to create these habits might hopefully help you ease up a little bit and understand the process, so that way you don't have to maybe be self-critical or give up too soon on some of your goals or habits and things like that. I know this is a popular topic right now because I get a lot of people that email me about this, especially at this time of year. It's the 3rd week in January, and healthy eating and meditation and things like that are a lot of common goals that people set out to do at this time of year. And right now, statistically, the 3rd week of January is when a lot of people fall off of their New Year's resolutions. And so hopefully, if you understand this process a little bit, you can take it in stride and sort of manage this whole process of transformation a little bit better. And that's my goal here for this video. That's my intent. Okay, so let's move on to the second obstacle, which is your amygdala. Your amygdala is part of your limbic brain system, which is tied to your emotions. It also regulates your fight or flight response. And the key thing to remember here is that your amygdala is completely impartial to the circumstance that you're experiencing. So you could be literally cornered in a lion's den, totally fearing your life, or you could just be stepping out into a new business venture that's a little risky. Your amygdala is going to register that fear and that threat the same way. So taking that into consideration, and maybe ask yourself, are you allowing this fear in any way in your life keep you from stepping forward into some of the things that you know are in your highest and greatest good, but because they're different and away from what your normal pattern is, you're starting to feel a little bit of fear-based energies or uneasiness. So these animal instincts definitely serve us in a lot of ways. Obviously, you do want to get alarmed if you're in a lion's den or if you're in any other form of a lethal situation or a threat to your life. But when this same fear steps in and keeps us from experiencing our life fully or taking risks or taking chances or change, then it becomes less empowering. Okay, so it's good to look at this and understand this process so you can sort of assess where you're at and be honest with your feelings and what you're experiencing, and just know that this is just part of the process. So the third thing I wanted to bring up to you is the concept of neuroplasticity, which is proven. The brain is not a static organ. It is something that can be rewired, and you can form new neural pathways in your brain based on new thoughts and new behaviors and actions. So anytime you start to do something different that you didn't do before, you're starting to form new neural pathways in your brain. And once you do that, it makes whatever the action is that you're trying to take easier than it did before. And so the whole purpose of this is to help streamline the process for you. Your brain wants to help you conserve energy and do things more efficiently. And so you could take tying your shoes, for example. When you were little, you probably had to focus a lot and really focus on tying your shoes. And then after your brain got a hold of that and decided, hey, this is a good thing, we're going to streamline this and we're going to, conserve energy and make it easier to do this in the future. And now you can tie your shoe and it's just sort of second nature. You don't have to think about it. So you can apply the same concept to other areas of your life where you're trying to implement change. And so what this tells us is it's reasonable to assume at first it's going to be a little difficult. It's going to be a little uneasy to take the necessary steps in order to get to the point where it becomes more of a habit. So whether you're trying to eat clean for 2017 or you're trying a new meditation ritual in your life and you want to start doing that in the mornings, these things can become more of a habit and get easier to do as you start to do them. But at first, I'm not saying you should expect resistance or that you should expect things to be difficult, but it's a good idea probably to understand that when you do get to a point of challenge and you do hit a point of resistance, that if you can wrap your head around why it's occurring instead of just feeling sort of like a failure or feeling that you're not good enough or feeling that that you're not doing it right and you beat yourself up, that's like the opposite thing that you want to do when you're trying to create positive change in your life. So hopefully these three things that I shed light on today will help you put into perspective what's actually going on behind the scenes while you're out there consciously trying to co-create your life and create massive change in your life and create healthy habits. There's some forces that are pretty powerful forces that are working against that a little bit, and when you start to realize that and understand it for what it is, and you don't get emotional about it, then you're able to work with this process and make massive leaps and massive change in your life. So that's my hope for you. I hope that this video shined a little bit of light on this process. And if you are interested in possibly joining the Mind Body Spirit Challenge, you can go to sarah-rose.net and you should see a link right there on the blue menu bar. So I hope this video finds you well, and hopefully you'll tune in with me on Wellness Wednesday next week. Namaste.